The President expresses his views on funds allocated for education.
නමුත් වෙන් කරන මුදල් වල ප්‍රමුඛතාවයක් මම දන්නේ නැහැ.
Voice Against Corruption raises questions regarding a suspicious transaction behind the Wi-Fi balloon project. Number of parties expressed their displeasure over the salary of the Auditor General not being approved. What will be the fate of the control price imposed on rice?
Good evening and welcome. This is Prime Time News. I'm Joel Outsko.
And I'm Rahna Farouk. Let's start off with a look at your top story for tonight. President Maithripala Sirisena notes that the Ministry of Education must intervene to introduce a list of priorities for the funds allocated for education.
The 50th anniversary of DSN Anayaka College, Colombo was held today under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena. The boys' school was inaugurated in 1967 as a solution to the rising demand of popular boys' schools in Colombo. Inaugurated by the late Ayyammar Iriyagulla, the late R.I.T. Alas served as the founder principal of DSN Anayaka College, Colombo. A three-story building constructed with provisions from the Ministry of Education was declared open today. The President was also presented with a commemorative stamp and a first-day cover issued to celebrate the 50th anniversary.
අධ්‍යාපනයේ සඳහා රජයක් විසින් වැය කරනු ලබන
We still question ourselves as to whether the funds allocated by the government for education are being utilized in a proper manner. Last year, a massive amount of funds were given to the Ministry of Education and the provincial councils. When visiting the 10,100 odd schools in the country, we have to inquire from the children about the shortcomings. We have discussed this matter with the Minister of Education for 2 years, but I am not aware of any prioritization of those allocations. When allocations were made for the provincial councils last year, some of the provincial ministers said that they were given excess funds. A request was made for the funds given to the Education Ministry to be redirected to other ministries. However, if you visit 10 schools, in 8 of them they will speak of sanitation issues and issues regarding access to clean drinking water. Some don't even have desks and chairs. Therefore, it is paramount that we have a list of priorities when making allocations and introduce it to schools and the Education Ministry personnel.
අමාත්‍යංශයේ නිලධාරීන්ට හඳුන්වා දීම ඉතාමත් අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා.
මේ වසර දෙකක් ඇතුළත
In a period of 2 years, we have been able to revolutionize education. We have started to introduce smart classrooms and we will launch 100 such classrooms during this year. At present, we are preparing a program to address the shortage of teachers in the country. We hope to solve it in a period of 2 years. During the tenure of the President, 2 billion rupees was allocated for teacher training from the budget.
ගුරු පුහුණුව සඳහා බිලියන 2ක් පමණ අපි වෙන් කරනු ලැබුවා.
They claimed they would bring Volkswagen to Sri Lanka, but what we got was the Western Automobile Assembly Plant. Who owned the tyre factory in Horana, which was based on a purported foreign investment? Mangalayappa appointed as managing director of the Agency for Development, even though the bill to establish it was not passed. Southern Development Authority, which was repealed by the Divinaguma Act, gets a new chairman, Shiranta Herath. Google Loon crashes. Who is behind these failed projects?
Well, the Voice Against Corruption questions as to whether there was a suspicious transaction that took place with regard to the balloon project, which was to provide the entire country with free Wi-Fi service. Convener of the Voice Against Corruption, Vasanta Samarasinghe, said that issues have arisen with regard to an institution named Rama, which is involved in the project.
In February 2016, a balloon was launched with the promise of providing high-speed internet to the entire country using Wi-Fi technology. The balloon, which was launched under the guidance of the CEO of the Information and Communication Technology Agency of Sri Lanka, or ICTA, Muhundan Kanage, crashed in Gampola on the 17th of February 2016. As part of the Google Loon project, an agreement was entered into on the 29th of July 2015 in Colombo to launch 13 balloons in order to create 10,000 Wi-Fi zones. The agreement was signed by CEO of ICTA, Muhundan Kanage, and the Vice President of Google, Mike Cassidy. After the project was deemed a failure, it was revealed at a press conference convened on the 8th of April in Colombo that this project is being carried out under a program known as the Rama project.
පහුගිය කාලේ
In the past, the government staged a massive performance saying that Google is coming to Sri Lanka and that a Google balloon will be launched and that the entire country will be provided with Wi-Fi services. Now that performance has come to an end. The balloon has crashed. There is no Google and there is no Wi-Fi. That is where the questions arise. Where are the people who were involved in this project? Even though they call this a Google project, now information has come to light that the name of this project is Rama. So who is Rama? Who are the directors of the Rama project? The government needs to inform the public as to what this Rama project is all about, a project that was launched under the guise of a Google project. They must inform the country about who the project directors are. The television and radio frequencies in this country are national resources and cannot be changed according to the whims and fancies of various people. Now the problem before us is what decisions will be taken with regard to television and radio frequencies in the country. This is a serious issue.
Meanwhile, on the 25th of October 2015, the Business Times supplement of the Sunday Times newspaper reported that the CEO of ICTA, Muhundan Kanage, had stated that he would resign from his post if the plan to include Sri Lanka into the project failed. While Muhundan Kanage still serves as the CEO of ICTA, his tenure is due to end on the 3rd of March 2017. While the Google Loon project that was launched under his leadership ended in complete failure, Acting Minister of Telecommunication and Digital Infrastructure, Tharanath Basnayaka, says that proposals have been made to extend Muhundan Kanage's term as CEO of ICTA until 2019. Basnayaka said that the proposal made by the Board of Directors will be presented to Subject Minister Harin Fernando, who is currently overseas, upon his arrival to the island. However, Secretary to the Ministry of Telecommunication and Digital Infrastructure, Basant Deshapriya, notes that the ministry is not aware of such a proposal.
That institution has been gazetted under our ministry. It is an institute that has been registered under the 2003 Act as well as the Companies Act. The appointment of boards of directors for companies registered under this Act is outlined in the document titled Article of Associations. Article 109 states how a board of directors should be appointed. That states that the power to appoint a board of directors lies with the Secretary to the Treasury. That too should be done after obtaining the advice of the subject minister. This company has only 2 shares. Both shares are owned by the Treasury. Another question we have is how the Chief Executive Officer of this institution was appointed. Article 120 states that the power to appoint a CEO lies with the Board of Directors. That power has not been vested in the minister nor in me.
Meanwhile, a satellite television broadcasting firm belonging to Muhundan Kanage was shut down in 2006. In such circumstances, what procedure was followed when appointing him to such a high position in a state institution? When such institutions that depend on public coffers for its survival keep failing, how does one remain as the leader of such an institution? What exactly is the Rama project which is behind the Google Loon project? More revelations on this in the near future. Salaries paid for the managing director of the Agency for Development, which is yet to be legally established. Salaries paid for the chairman of the Southern Development Authority, which was repealed by Divinaguma. Allegations that Arjuna Mahendran during his tenure as central bank governor used over 60 million rupees. But where is the salary of the Auditor General who reveals such frauds?
Well, now the Joint Trade Unions Collective of the Auditor General's Department alleges that the Parliament's failure to pass the proposal on the salary of the Auditor General has resulted in the deprivation of legal salary for the Auditor General.
According to Article 153(2) of the Constitution, the salary of the Auditor General shall be determined by Parliament, shall be charged on the consolidated fund and shall not be diminished during his term of office. Such provisions have been made in the Constitution as the Auditor General is one who is directly accountable to Parliament and in order to secure his independent functions. However, The Joint Trade Unions Collective of the Auditor General's Department claims that the salary of Gamini Vijay Singha, who was appointed to the post of Auditor General on the 27th of November 2015, is yet to be approved by Parliament, even though it has been 1 year and 2 months since the appointment.
The salary of the Auditor General has not been submitted for Cabinet approval and Parliamentary approval. This created an illegal environment. Before entering the Auditor General's Department, he was the recipient of an attractive salary at the Sri Lanka Accounting and Auditing Standard Monitoring Board. According to the 19th Amendment to the Constitution, the Auditor General is not a public servant. Many matters have been taken into consideration and a letter was sent highlighting the required salary for the Auditor General. However, it has not been submitted to Cabinet or Parliament for approval. The Auditor General receives 47,515 rupees under the salary range of SL4. However, as trade unions attached to the Auditor General's Department, we do not believe that this is a salary suitable for the Auditor General. The trade unions attached to the Auditor General's Department believe that the Auditor General must be provided with a salary that suits that person.
Audit reports that were published in the recent past came under heavy scrutiny. These reports include those on the infamous Treasury bond scam, rice import transactions and the coal deal. The Finance Minister had made a request to carry out an audit on the Treasury bonds issued during the period between 2008 and 2015. The manner in which this audit report was released was discussed across many fora, as the Auditor General has presented the said report to CORP and uploaded it onto the official website of the Auditor General's Department. In such a backdrop, civil organizations assert that the government has failed to ensure a legal salary for the position of Auditor General.
The position of Auditor General is one of the most important positions in governance. His powers are vested in auditing state finances. Once a year, he will probe state institutions to inquire as to whether the income and expenditure is according to state policies, are there any shortcomings, and has any corruption or malpractice taken place. It is paramount that this is strictly followed. It is the responsibility of Cabinet and the Parliament to ensure that this individual is given an attractive salary and other facilities. The salary issue has arisen. This has not only affected the salary of the Auditor General, but has also resulted in the stalling of promotions at the Auditor General's Department and recruitment to the department. CORP has made many startling revelations on the corruption and waste in the country. The Auditor General's Department has carried out a considerable amount of work related to those revelations. This is an attempt to sabotage that process. The state audit process had a very favourable environment until the infamous bond scam was exposed. They thereafter fall into a state where they consider the Auditor General as a traitor. The reason being the government must take the blame for the Treasury bond scam. Those who are corrupt and their associates, as well as those who want to commit more corrupt activities, are the ones who work against the Auditor General. It appears that the politicos linked to corruption are acting against the Auditor General and want to cause harm to him. The group that the people believe are involved in the bond scam are the ones who are mainly targeting the Auditor General and creating an inconvenience to him. They must be held responsible for this.
A full moon Poya Day. Buddhists across the country observe many significant events that took place on this day.
The appointment of the two chief disciples of Gautama Buddha as Agroshavaka, namely Sariputta and Moggallana, took place on a Navam full moon Poya Day like today. Incidentally, it is on a Navam full moon Poya Day that the first ever Buddhist congregation was held. The annual Navam Mahaperahera of the Hunupitiya Gangarama Temple in Colombo will parade the streets for the final day today, in line with Navam Poya. Among the prestigious Buddhist festivities in the country, the Navam Mahaperahera of the Hunupitiya Gangarama Temple takes a special place in the hearts of all devotees. A special puja took place at the Shakyamalaka Buddhist statue located opposite the head office of the Capital Maharaj Organization Limited today. This puja was supported by Toughline Limited, a member company of the Capital Maharaj Organization Limited. Group Director of the Capital Maharaj Organization Limited, Anuradha Jayasinghe, and staff members attended this religious event.
ශ්‍රී ලාංකික අපය
While Sri Lanka Buddhists nourish their lives through the Dhamma, we must also live according to its teachings. We must commit ourselves to the betterment of others as well. We must consider this day as one that we commence such a meritorious deed.
Meanwhile, the final Navam Maha Perahara of the Hunupitiya Ganga Rama took to the streets this evening. Let's now cross over to some footage of the Perahara, which is currently underway.
Indeed, some very beautiful visuals there. With that, we move on to more local news. Now, the prize giving of 20 college candy for the year 2017 was held yesterday under the auspices of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. Past and present Trinitarians and staff led by the Principal Andrew Fowler-Watt, parents and other distinguished guests participated in the event.
How do we develop this country fast? How do we develop this country so that we have a high level of income, and somewhere by the next 10-15 years we are an advanced country. So you have better pay, you know what you are doing. So that we were focusing on industrializing this country further. Bring in the type of industries which we had never had before. Manufacturing of electronic appliances, manufacturing of motor car components, and so many other areas for which we have to bring foreign investors in. For the city of Kandy, a big project to develop one major tourist center around the Bogambara prisons. Will be a cultural complex, and around it a series of hotels. I have asked them to identify land for one large IT zone in Kandy.
The foundation stone for a new village in the Palle Malala Hambantota as part of the Udagamana program was laid today under the auspices of Minister Sajith Premadasa.
This new village, which will be named as Sir Sirigama, will consist of 176 houses and is expected to be built at a cost of 45.5 million rupees. The total loss of 15 state institutions is 110 billion. While this fact has been mentioned in the COPE report, which was headed by Sunil Handuneti, there are some who are opposing this and saying that we are formulating constitutions that will destroy our country. I would like to clearly say to the people of this country, the members of the Yapalan government are not suffering from any mental illness. We too are sons and daughters of this country, who were born on this soil, who respect it and will work hard to protect it. We do not have a pain or illness or condition to formulate a constitution that will divide or betray our country. All they utter are just mere words. If truth be told, they are the ones who cleaned the coffers of all the state institutions, and now we have to suffer as a result of their actions. Speaking at an event held today, Minister Arjuna Rantunga expressed his views on privatizing state institutions.
The minister participated in an alms-giving ceremony held at the Sri Vijayasundara Rama Vihara in Minuwangoda under the Gamai Pansalai Gamata Saviyak Community Service Program. Following the event, the minister expressed his views to the media. They say that if the country is to be taken forward, most of the state institutions need to be privatized. What is your view on this matter?
The President has a firm stance on this matter. He said that he does not mind loss-making institutions and restructured after bringing in investors. However, he said that he would not allow that to happen to profitable state institutions. I'm also of the view that it is okay to bring in investors and restructure such loss-making organizations as long as the government retains the control of such institutes. If we look at the past, during the time of Chandrika Kumaratunga and Mahinda Rajapaksa, when it came to the ports, they gave away the terminals, keeping only a 15% 50% stake for the government, while the rest was given to the private sector. From the day I took the office of minister, I have been involved in a major battle to regain the control of these institutions. It does not matter if it is the Eastern Terminal or the Hambantota Port. We should try to increase the stake of the government while attracting investors in a proper manner.
Minister John Amarathunga attended a religious event at the Gangaramaya temple in Hunupitiya today.
1 million rupees allocated by the Ministry of Tourism was presented to the Gangaramaya temple in Hunupitiya for its religious activities. The former president took the initiative to commence the Saitam Private University. He is now objecting it after his defeat.
If he gave permission for it, he should maintain that stance. It is not a fair decision for him to oppose it now. That is not what a responsible politician would do. It is against the judicial proceedings to debate about a matter regarding which court has provided a judgment. The president has now intervened. He has done that before and solved a number of issues and provided concessions. He will resolve this as well.
The joint opposition is raising allegations that the current government is selling state property.
We have not sold a single plot of land. That is what happened during their time. We are not selling them. We are leasing them out. The previous government said they would develop the country. We are giving these out to settle the debt that they obtained. If not, we will not lease them out. If we don't do this, the Chinese will sell it.
You're tuned on to Primetime News. It's now time to take a look at the speech of the week.
Between 75,000 to 80,000 students go to overseas universities. We need to ensure that they remain here and provide them with the required facilities. Each and every educational institution must be of high standard. With regard to the issue on Saitam in Malabar, I must make it clear that the government will solve it justly. I will have discussions with all relevant parties and solve this problem through a reasonable program which everybody can accept. I must make it clear that we as the government will solve this issue. We cannot let the children be misled by groups with vested interests. The government will fulfill its responsibilities to open the doors for the students to win the competitive world in a fair society. As the president of the country, I am not partial to any party in this issue. The program of the government will bring justice to every student while being impartial.
Consumers say that rice is not available in the local market for the controlled price.
The government imposed a maximum retail price for rice with effect from yesterday. Thereby, the maximum retail price of a kilogram of samba rice was set at 80 rupees, while the maximum retail price of a kilogram of nadu rice was set at 72 rupees. The new maximum retail price of a kilogram of kaklu rice is 70 rupees. A visit to local markets revealed that the control price was not enforced.
The rates stipulated by the government, we either have to go to India or go to the parliament and ask for it from the people there. When you mention rice to the poor people, they are agitated. Everything that is remaining is above rupees 100.
Retail traders claim they would incur losses if they are to sell their stocks of rice under the government-imposed controlled price.
The prices have not reduced, they are the same. We did not receive imported rice to be sold. The decision that we have reached is that we will sell the rice stocks that we have at a price taking into consideration the price we purchase these stocks. If they impose a fine, we will pay that fine as well. With the prevailing system, we will have to step down from selling rice. If you take a look at the purchasing price and the other costs, we cannot sell at that price.
Rice producers also claim that despite the government's decision, they cannot supply rice at the stipulated prices.
The government is now selling its paddy stocks. When a rice mill owner purchases this paddy and converts it into rice, the conversion cost is around 81 to 82 rupees. It is impractical and unfair to ask us to sell rice at 72 rupees. The government is selling at such a high price and they are asking us to sell at a low price. They publish the Gazette at 12 midnight and carry out raids from 8 am the other day asking us to sell at 72. A kilogram results in a loss of about 25 rupees.
However, Chairman of the Essential Food Commodities Importers and Traders Association, Nihal Senviratne, said that his association can supply rice at the control price imposed by the government.
The Imadua police station was declared open today under the auspices of IGP Pujit Jayasundara.
This is the 476th police station established under the initiative of establishing 600 police stations island-wide. His Excellency the President and the Honourable Prime Minister have clearly said that no one should intervene with the instructions and the decisions made by the police. There is a ministry, a subject minister and a secretary to give instructions to police if need be. An independent police commission has been established to make policy decisions. That commission is as independent as it can be. No one can intervene with the commission. The police is not there to harm anyone. The police is there to safeguard the people and to safeguard the security of the country. We can say that the Sri Lanka police have successfully accomplished this task to a great degree. When we consider the politicians, there are different kinds of them. There are ones who attack police stations, there are ones who give orders to police, but a majority do not act in this manner.
And that's the wrap for Primetime News. For the News First team, I'm Rahna Farooq.
And I'm Joel Artschool. Take care. Good night.